Hello future tech leaders, I'm Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Directly from the Oracle website. You can type 89 too. You can go to this URL. I am in that URL which AU. You can search for controller 8292 or 9. There you will find the JDK and download the JDK, not the JRE. This version is of whatever. If you have 64-bit machine, then you can use this. Otherwise, you could use other JDK. Downloaded it. You can uninstall the older one and you can install this and then try to set the environment variables. Great. Let us start with today's session. Today's session is about the data model. For each and every application, the data model is the core. Data model is the core of the application and we call it as backend. We can also call it as database. What it will? Data model will contain. It will contain the tables, which will have the columns, and these tables and columns will contain the data. These columns and tables are related to each other based on 4 main methodologies. One is the foreign key. You might already know the foreign key relationship. It is similar in here, also foreign key. Second is array key. Yesterday we have discussed about the array key. If one table is having one-to-many relationship with another table, then we say that it is an array key relationship. Third one is the type key. I will tell you what type key is. And fourth one is subtypes. Subtypes are nothing but the parent and the children relationship. Suppose there is a parent entity and we are creating a children entity on top of this. The relation between these two parent and children entity is said to be subtypes. What is type key? We have talked yesterday about the entities. Entities will be having the extension as .et and .x. Similarly, like entities, we have a different kind of file structure in Guide where we name it as type list. What this type will contain? What entities contain? Entities will contain the columns and inside those columns it will have the data. Similarly, type list contains the list of data, means list of suppose. I will give you one example. If you click, there is a in country. Sorry, there is a field name country. I was that. Imagine a field on the screen named country. When you want to input the country, you will have. You do not do it manually. You do not type the name of India manually. You just click on a drop down. There would be a drop down button. You will click on that. The countries would appear, wherein you will select which country you are in. That's how you input the value for that particular field country. This data which is appearing on the UI. This must be stored somewhere already. This is pre-stored data. User is not entering all those countries. These are these already. This is this. Data is already stored with the base application. Means user has an option to select from these many options. We have some predefined data already defined. All those drop-down values are defined in the type list. Got it? It's been looked like US states. Hex value. All these are defined in the type list. Type list will be having extension and .n.text. I will tell you where .in.text will be used and where .n.text will be used. But before that, I want to show you how my type list looks like. It will also be there in the extensions only and in type list. You can see I have multiple type list here. Let's say, suppose I will open currency type list. You can see it is having all the data of the currency already: USD, Euro, G, B, CAD, OD. This is predefined data which we have already defined in the system. We can utilize this type list in multiple entities. If we want to refer this type list in any of our entities, suppose there is an entity bank account which will contain all the bank account details. Bank account.text, which will contain all the bank account details like name. And what is the difference between ET and X? I will go into that as well. Bank account. Suppose, say, we have a column name, account number. These are the columns in the bank account entity. Then we can have IFS, support that also. These are the details. Now let's say there is an option of the country. Which bank, which country the bank resides in. This is the column, country column. We want to refer this country column from this drop down. It is defined in the type list. You can observe from here, this is a type of string. Account name is a type of string. We can have a barker field for this. This is a type of string. Account number is also type of string. We can have a text or barker type of field. This is also can be mentioned as a string. But what about country? Country is not something which user is putting manually. It is something which user is selecting from the drop down. It has to be defined as a type key input in the end. Let's suppose take an example like bank account. We will go to the bank account entity. Bank account. You can see there is a type key here, another type, which will have all the different account types in the type list. I will search for the bank account type list. User can select the type of the bank account from the drop-down, checking, saving, and other. These are the three values. How this type is referred in this entity as a type key that I mentioned here, right? There is a type key relationship also between the and subtype relationship. We already know, we have already discussed. Now comes what is .eti and .etx, and it is very important to understand the difference between them. And I think you will not find this information from the PPTs also, which I am going to show you. This information is something which comes with the experience. It's not in PPTs as well, where we use .etli. Suppose when I will give you the examples from the scenario. Suppose you want to add a new column, right? There is a requirement that you need to add a new column to the entity, right? Or there is a requirement to create a new entity. What are the steps in what? We have to keep in mind. If we are creating a new entity, right? We need first is we need to check in our claim center system that the name with which we are defining the entity, is there any entity already existing with that name or not? If the name already exists, which type of entity is it? It is a .eti file or is it a .etx file? And .eti file is the one which comes in the out of the box. And .etx files are the ones which these can also be come in the out of the box. Along with that, it will be created by us, the developers as well, for custom entities. First requirement is to create a new entity. First step is we need to checking our project structure that is there already and .eti file already present or not for that particular name. Let us say we will take an example of bank account, only bank account entity. We want to add this bank account entity. What my job is? First, as a developer, I will check whether this bank account entity is already present or not. I found this bank account is already present. My observation is .eti file is already present. Now once if I find the .eti file, I will search for the .etx file. If the .etx file is already present for this bank account or not, I will search for .etx file. .etx file is not at all present. What I will do? If there is a requirement to create a new entity, I will identify which columns needs to be added to this entity. Suppose IFSC code is the column which needs to be added. After I found .etx file is already present, I will not create a new entity. Rather, I will add this IFSC code in the .eti entity only. But to segregate that already existing fields with the new custom field, I will suffix this IFSC code column name with _ext. Let us suppose I have this requirement. I will create a new column. You create with suffix of ext or etx. This is the suffix, not the extension. This is ext means extension. Is it a mandatory or can I give anything else? Actually, ext is for training purpose when you will go to the real-time project. Each project have their own naming conventions. Suppose if there is a project named OP. Might be they would recommend to use OP. Everywhere you will be using OP. These details are provided by the client. But for training purposes, just to remove the confusion, we will use ext. Even in the training app also, you will see the custom fields which are created by the users or the developers are with this one. Just give me a second. 90%. Second thing is if .eti is already present here, dot is already present and .etx was not present. Then we will do that. This is not present. Now second thing is if .eti is present and .etx is also present. Suppose .etx is also present for this. Then where we will add this new field. Then we will add this new field in the .etx, not the .eti. I will tell you the reasoning also why this is complex. You said ETI is already present and ETX is not present. Then we are adding the IFS according to ETI. And ETX is present and ETX is also present. Then you add it in ETX. Third case is if nothing is present. Both are not present. Present. Then you create a new entity. Create a new entity with .eti extension, not .etx extension. ET extension. And then add this. These are the three cases which we need to follow everywhere and we need to keep in mind. And also there is one more thing. If suppose both are not present, it's a custom entity which we are creating all together. A new entity we have to create it with the bank account name bank. Whenever we are creating a new entity, either at ext or etx or et anything, what we do? We will suffix it with _ext. Suppose we will create a new entity name bank account. It suffix the entity name as xt.et. This would be the entity name for third case. But what would be the field name in this case? The field name. Here you can see my field name is _ext. But here my field name won't be _ext. Because I have already given the indication that my entity is custom entity. Whatever comes under the custom entity would automatically be custom. That's why we don't include _xt in the newly created entity. We will create the field with this name. These are our own section which you need to follow. When is this ETX? When does it get created? If the custom entity is being created, we create it with ETI. We never create ETX. Is created. ETX, there is one more thing which we need to keep in. Yes, it's a good question which you have asked. etx is created when suppose we have .eti and the .eti is already present and which is not suffixed with xt. Suppose we have a .eti file already present there, and then we will check whether this .eti file is suffixed with ext or not. If it is not suffixed with xt or any other client-specific name, then in that case we will create a .etx file with the same name. But why do you want to create the etx file? Because as you said, you can always add that particular field in the eti file with an extension _etx. Then what is the need of creating etx file .etx? The first point you are talking about. This first point is only applicable for if .eti is already present and it is suffixed with _ext. .eti file is suffixed with xt. Add extension. Well, then we can add the store, but then I won't have to mention _ext for the field. Yes, correct. That's the rule. Actually, I have forgot this fourth rule. It's good that you have. I have not included this condition. That's why these are the 4 rules actually. And by these rules we follow. Do you have any idea, any guesses? Why do we have to follow all these rules, strict rules? It should be very simple. It can be one file and we can just add the _ext suffix and we can add as many as we want in the same file. Can you give me the reasoning why we are doing in that way? Sorry, what is the question? I am asking you that any guesses from your and why we are following such rules. Like suppose if we want to, it can be simple, right? It can be like suppose there is a one file and we can just add whatever fields which we want to add with the _ext or any client specific name just to separate out our custom field and the already present fields. There might be some classes that Guidewire might be using and you don't want to disturb that. Yes, that's one answer. That's one point. But the main thing is for the upgrades. Guidewire want to, when we are doing the upgrade from one version to the next version, right? It will check all these best practices. All these are called the best practices. It will check for all the .at files. And it will upgrade all the custom. It will not upgrade the custom changes which we have done. It will first upgrade out of the box and then. But then how will it know if you are creating a custom entity, say bank account _x.at? How will Guidewire know if it's a custom entity or not? Because we are ending it with et. But it will know to this .x file would be there with _ext. No, what I am saying is if both are not present. Third one is create a new entity with .at extension and then add this field. The third point, you are creating a .at file. Yes, right. Here, it will check the extension. If it is not with extension, right, This extension will tell the guide bar that this is the custom entity which has been created, although it is .et, but also this is the custom entity which has been created. This entity extend suffix will tell that upgrade tool. The upgrade tool is designed in such a way. That's why we need to follow all these rules. If actually these are the best practices, these rules are not tightly coupled. I would say, if you will. If suppose you will not follow these rules, also right, your application will run. But you did that case, you will not be able to follow the best practice file upgrade right. While code cleanup or code checkup right, those guys will raise the questions. Guidebar guys will raise questions on it. That's why we follow all these, because it makes upgrade easier. If we follow all these and the fourth point, 80 is already present, which is not fixed with _ext. Basically, if it is an entity class that is not customized, then we should not be changing it. Yes, we cannot change. Because 4 entities should never be touched. If you need to create that as _ext and then add, try to add something there. Correct. In 80 you never add a column also. Correct. If the .at file is the one which we have created, then we can add it. If it's not custom entity, then we should not add anything to the et file. And some of the projects follow these best practices also, and some of them are not following it because these are not mandatory. These are just the best practices. But it's good if we are working on a lead level right for code reviews. It helps a lot. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.